Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube rigmarole. Today, we're going to continue our look at the Marvel Legends supervillain Zemnu wave with Dormammu. Starting off the packaging, and it's pretty much the same box we've been looking at all along. We can see he's pretty jam-packed, and he has some pretty cool artwork on the side and on the back. A maniacal cosmic being with an unquenchable thirst for conquest, Dormammu uses extra-dimensional abilities to invade realms across all planes of existence. Once again, the build-a-figure is Zemnu, and here are all the figures you'll need to build him. I haven't looked at one of these supervillain boxes in a while, so I kind of forgot how much I like them. I love the green and purple color scheme. I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of Halloween. For packaging, I'm giving Dormammu 1 whole point. And just one quick little addendum, when you take him out of the package, he does have this little clear plastic headband, so just be aware of that. These are sweatbands. And when you take it off, this pretty much comes off too. But more on that in the next segment. Moving on to the next segment, and Dormammu stands at 6 3/4 inches. Starting off with the head, and let's just get this out of the way. We need to talk about this head. Not only is this piece really loose and constantly falling off, but the fire is just too dark, so his face kind of gets lost in it. He does look pretty cool if you backlight him, and the face itself is actually pretty cool with all the lines sculpted in and painted, so it's a real shame that it all kind of gets mushed together. If you want this on your figure, you should probably glue it down, otherwise it is going to get lost in your carpet. Other than that, this is pretty much just a reuse of the new Red Skull body. The shoulder harness is new, as are the gloves, boots, and belt, and that yellow belt really pops. With so few new pieces, the ones that have been added count that much more, and frankly, the head is just way too frustrating. For presentation, I'm giving Dormammu half a point. Moving on to posability, and if you remember from Red Skull, the head is on a dumbbell joint, but there's also a ball joint at the base of the neck. Thanks to these two joints, he does actually get a pretty good range, but again, it does make this piece fall off. Moving down, Dormammu has swivel hinge shoulders, bicep cut, pinless, double jointed elbows, swivel hinge wrists, ab crunch, swivel waist, and once again it fell off. Ball jointed hips, thigh cut, pinless, double jointed knees, boot cut, and ankles that hinge and pivot. Again, this is the same body as the Red Skull, which is extremely well articulated, so it should come as no surprise that for posability, I'm also giving Dormammu 1 whole point. Moving on to playability, and for some reason, Dormammu came packaged with trigger hands. He doesn't come with any guns, and of course, as an interdimensional cosmic being, I don't see why he'd need any. He does, however, also come with a pair of fists and monologue hands. On top of that, he comes with some flame effects for his wrists. We've seen these about 1,000 times, but they're always welcome. He also comes with the left arm of Zemnu. It's mostly reused from Wendigo and Sasquatch, but the fur sculpted pretty nicely, and the hand is completely new. But playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others, so here he is with the other figures I've reviewed in this wave so far. From the left we have Arcade, Red Skull, and Lady Deathstrike. In particular, I'm very interested in these two because they do share the same body, and therefore the same hands. There are 2 different shades of red, but if you wanted to try to use Dormammu's extra hands for Red Skull, you could pull it off. It all really comes down to angles and lighting. For some other major Marvel villains, here he is with Thanos, Doctor Doom, and Kang. For a relative scale comparison, here he is with Pizza Spidey by Marvel Legends and Spectacular Spider-Man by Marvel Select. And for a non-Marvel comparison, here he is with Mattel's Masters of the Universe Revelations Skelegod. To my eye, this pairing just seems appropriate. And speaking of Mattel, for a DC comparison, here he is alongside Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And for a 6-inch DC Collectibles comparison, here he is with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from DC Icons. And speaking of DC Collectibles, here he is alongside Zatanna. Man, I would love to see a battle between these two. Niagrab at Imak Evi Umamrad.
You've come to what? I didn't quite catch that.
And for one last DC comparison, here he is alongside Dr. Fate by McFarlane Toys. Just like Zatanna, this is another matchup I'd very much like to see. And speaking of magical doctors, I unfortunately do not have a 6-inch scale Doctor Strange, but in my defense, Hasbro has yet to make a classic one, so check and mate. But seriously though, they'll probably make one in time for Multiverse of Madness, right? Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. But if you really want to defeat an interdimensional menace, you know who you've got to call. Ghostbusters. Are you a god? I'm Frank Welker, so kind of. Then I'll allow it. Get her! So yeah, pretty fun on his own, and once we get a classic Doctor Strange, he'll be even more fun. For playability, I'm giving Dormammu 1 whole point. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. With 3 sets of hands, 2 fire effects, and a Build-A-Figure piece, at $20 to $25, Dormammu is a pretty good bargain. For price, I'm giving Dormammu Dormammu 1 whole point for a grand total of 4.5 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Marvel Legends supervillain Zem New Wave Dormammu. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor and give it a like. Your likes help more people to see it. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.